Hello, this is Friendly Cat, and today we're going to discuss proper tank divisions, Newb Trap or Elite Strat. So first let's talk about what is a proper tank division. Well, let's take a look. A proper tank division, oh yeah, it looks like this. Something like this, 6 battalions of line tanks, 8 battalions of motorized, oh yeah, and the version you may have a larger combat with, maybe a little smaller, of course we'll give it support companies, but it's going to look something like this. Nice, look at this hardness, 42% hardness, oh nice, breakthrough, I'm excited, oh, and 200 soft attack, this is going to power through, lots of hard attack, oh look at that armor, nice piercing. Decent org, thanks primarily to the motorized, and the supply really isn't too bad. I like this tank. I want to build these tanks. But should I be building these tanks? Should I be, particularly as a minor or even as a major? And we'll focus primarily on single player achievement runs. So we'll have to keep in mind because we do play a lot of minors. Can minors afford this 5600 IC? Beautiful division. Well, let's compare it if we swap out some of the tanks and motorized, and we're going to leave with just 1 medium tank battalion, and then that's 8 motorized and then 3 motorized artillery. Oh, so soft attack is almost identical. Oh, that's actually that's not too bad. Hard attack's dropped a lot, but then again, a lot of AI divisions don't have much hardness. Defense is about the same. It's a little lower. Breakthrough, it's about half, less than half. That's kind of tough. Then again, this is a lot of breakthrough, and once we get these experienced divisions and potentially planning, that might even be too much breakthrough. We might have breakthroughs over the soft attack or the offensive abilities of enemy divisions, and actually technically due to this hardness, it's probably going to be well over the breakthrough because often AI divisions don't have a lot of hard attack, so they would need just over about 700 soft attack if they had 0 hard attack to come over the cap, not including experience. So 160 breakthrough is quite a bit. Of course, the hardness is much lower, but this is going to take a lot, not as many crits as one might think, and potentially be over breakthrough. Anyway. And the armor, well, it's only 1 tank, so this armor must be, this doesn't seem right. This is 23 armor with 1 battalion and 33 with 6, but shouldn't this be 6 times as much because there's 6 battalions of tanks? Well, no, and as many of you know, armor is primarily determined by the single highest armor value of the battalion. So in this case, this 1 medium tank can carry the whole division with its 23 armor. And I know you're right, well, that's still like a third less armor, or this has 50% more armor than the other one. Well, most of the divisions you're going to find, the AI, you're going to be able to pierce them with 23. That's going to be just on the edge, and depending on your MIOs and as you're able to bring them up, this is with 1938 tech, by the way. With MIOs, you can bring this up a bit, and so you'll be nearly unpierceable, and for certainly a lot of just infantry-only divisions, you'll be well over twice their piercing. So 23 and 33 is a difference, absolutely, but 23 is actually pretty good. And supply is actually less as well. The biggest is the cost, 2,600. Wow, that's because motorized is so cheap. And of course, assuming that you've got the rubber to pay for the trucks in all of this division, it's half the cost. It's less than half the cost. So it's 200 soft attack, 200 soft attack. The armor's probably fine. Oh, it's so sad to say, but so far I would say a proper tank division in single player, particularly for the challenging achievements, is a Newb Trap, and I like this one. I call this is like as close as I can think to a figurative or a literal Newb Trap because I want to make this division, and I realize I shouldn't be making this division. I should be making this instead because it's same soft attack and half the cost, and the difference in numbers is actually huge. If I can make, say, 4 of these, which is actually very pricey, I can make 8 of these, and that allows us to do encirclements much easier, close and collapse enemy pockets, because 4 of these gives me 2 on each side, but 8 of these would give me 3, and then maybe 2 more to do pinning attacks. So This is far superior to this in for single player and achievements. I continue to say single player because we'll talk a little bit about multiplayer. I don't know much about multiplayer, so I won't talk much about it, but I'll talk more about that toward the end. Well, of course, you say, that's not fair, Friendly Cat. You need to give that proper tank divisions and proper support artillery. And even though we're playing Germany, I'm not using Germany's special MIO. I don't think that's a fair comparison because most nations don't have it. They're just using the regular medium tank MIO. And here we're looking at soft attack. Well, that's pretty nice. 263 versus 194, so that's like 30% more soft attack. Very nice. But the cost is still twice as much. So it's twice as much cost for 30% more soft attack. Now, sure, the hardness has now come up to 50%, and we have a lot of breakthrough. So this is a very decent division, but it's really not fundamentally that much. And I think it actually is better than this division, than like the proper tank division, or maybe this is a proper, tank division, depending on your point of view. So these are both, I say, proper tank divisions. They're both pretty good, but they're just really expensive, particularly when you're playing as a minor. And even as a starting Germany would struggle to put half a dozen of these in the field. But we can comfortably put 3 or 4 of these in the field as a minor and then put more. So even though this is maybe a better comparison to this, because these are armored assault self-propelled artillery, this is still better, which means the proper tank division is still a bit of a trap. Well, let's compare one more thing. Let's say, well, what if we sub out those self-propelled artillery with motorized artillery? Oh, that's actually pretty good. Our soft attack has gone down by, like, I don't know, 15%, 18%, something like that. Cost has gone down about 20%. Armor still very good, 30. Hardness is still very good. But they're still so expensive, 4,400 production versus 26. They're not quite 2 times as much, but they're so much more expensive. And because our soft attack is coming down, they're becoming less and less as a good alternative to these. In other words, if you're like, I really got a lot of IC, I might switch up to here, or even potentially up to here, but probably here if I've got lots and lots of IC, but these are going to be better for lower IC. And the last mountain analysis, you say, what if I want the cheap version of these without this motorized artillery? Let's just take these out, just get a nice cheap division. We've got this 142 soft attack, so very light soft attack, decent breakthrough. Armor still, again, that single armor battalion is carrying us with the armor. Piercing's okay. Oh, the organization's very nice, and the cost has gone up. Up, that can't be right. But it is kind of, it's because motorized artillery, it's approximately the same cost. Motorized artillery cost a little bit more, but they're actually taking up more combat width. So their actual soft attack per combat width is better, and their cost for combat width is approximately the same as a motorized division. That may seem kind of hard to kind of swallow, but what it basically means is this division costs about the same as this division, but this division has a lot more soft attack than this division. It's 50 more, which is, I'm struggling with the math here, just over 30% more soft attack. Which means not only we've kind of identified that the proper tank division is kind of a noob trap, particularly for minors playing in single player achievements, the challenging achievements. It is a noob trap, and this is far better. This would be our, I'm not going to call it an elite strat, but if I wanted a mobilized division that was moving around, I would either do this or I would even swap out the tank. But if I wanted a motorized division, or a mobile division, I should say, a mobile division with some speed and armor, it's going to look something like this. Well, I'll just wrap up a little with multiplayer. I don't know anything about multiplayer, so I'm not going to talk much about it, but I just want to clarify, I don't know much about it. For many of the games that I saw, the multiplayer games, I do watch maybe the same YouTube channels that you guys watch. I see divisions that look like this, or they got maybe more tanks, bigger combat width. I'm not going to try to show all the varieties. So I do get it that in multiplayer, armor, hardness is very important. It seems very important, so I'm not here to comment on that, just to say I don't know what I'm talking about for multiplayer. But for single player, most challenging achievements, I think I certainly do, and it's this or something like this is going to be really what we want. Anyway, I hope this helps you decide whether when you're playing your next single player achievement, whether you want to make proper tank divisions or not. Well, I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much for watching.